Right there is the giant trash mountain, and that's causing issues.
A towering mountain of trash, Delhi's largest, looms over its eastern flank. Asia's single largest live bird market hugs its southern edge.
It's this giant wholesale hub that's going to fuel all of Delhi. A lot of chicken eating here.
While this kind of urban dairy slum sprawls westward towards the canal. It's this patchwork of cattle sheds and dung slick lanes.
Buffalo milk.
Buffalo milk, good?
Original.
Original, not from the shop.
No.
So the NGO thinks it's bad because they have the dairy farm so close to the waste disposal plant and the trash. But his argument is that someone else put that trash there. They were here first.
And in the middle of all of this is this kind of outdated waste to energy plant that tries to eke out megawatts by just coughing up dioxins and fly ash and toxic smoke that drifts right back over the same chickens and milk cans and vegetables and seafood that this city eats every single dawn.
Behind me, guys, but that is the landfill, and that is why this market is like kind of controversial. It's just we're right on the doorsteps of it.
An accumulation by now of more than 10 million tons of waste.
While these dump sites exhausted their capacity in 2002, tons of garbage continue to arrive at the sites daily.
Welcome to Ghazipur, East Delhi, India's most dystopian and dysfunctional food supply hub. Let's go. Right along the dairy farm's flank is this slum community that wrestles a living from the towering trash pile here. Here, they call them rag pickers.
All right, guys, so we've kind of reached maybe the drop-off point, the point at which a lot of this scavenging takes place. From what I understand, most of what they're after is actually aluminium, not plastic.
This isn't the wild scavenging rush that you see in Indonesia's Bentagabang mountain. Instead, it's buzzards and kites circling overhead, packs of stray dogs just nosing through debris, roaming cows, and it all gives this dump this kind of freaky, reclaimed by nature kind of vibe.
30 to 40 kilos.
You can get 30 to 40 kilos a day?
Yes, and he earns like 1,000 rupees per day,
That's
if
like-
it's a good day.
That's like not that bad.
It is entirely post-apocalyptic, but in its own special way.
All right, guys, so we're sort of a decent way up the mountain at this point, and you've got this maybe like loading station. I imagine once the pickers have sort of filled up the bag that they're carrying with, they're going to consolidate into these larger, just giant bags that he was saying is like the goal is to fill one of these every day.
And the rag picking, or scavenging here, is much the same as I've seen in other locations. It's plastic, aluminium, rubber, steel, anything with even a whiff of rupee value gets yanked out to be sold.
One thing that really just sets up this kind of dystopian vibe in India in particular is all of the buzzards. It's kind of like you've got those eagles, those hawks, those vultures just constantly circling above, just thousands and thousands of them. And it really gives it that kind of Western post-apocalyptic vibe.
And as you climb higher, you hit these kind of makeshift way stations, just scraps of bamboo and benches and torn tarps, where rag pickers can dump their haul and split plastics from metals and other valuables. Or they can strip it down, cut it up, do whatever kind of processing is needed before they can haul it off to sell it.
All right, guys, so we've got another bunch of rubber getting broken down, and then you see these bags just segregated. Maybe plastic bottles, plastic bottles, plastic bottles, plastic bottles, plastic bottles. And if you know anything about recycling, which I don't, but I pretend to, these will also, once again, have to be separated by color to really get some value out of it. So guys, let me know in the comments what you think they're gonna do with this rubber. From everything I've ever seen in the kind of like trash recycling industry, rubber is valuable because it burns so well, but I have no idea what they do with it here in India. Indians, let me know in the comments. What are you guys doing with this rubber? These guys are also working on shoe soles. Again, just a huge part of this is almost always segregation. Just picking's one thing, that's maybe the easy bit. The segregation of the trash is just, that's more and more I understand that is a big part of why recycling is just so time consuming, so costly, so many man hours.
Even on a really solid day, you're lucky to clear 10,000 rupees. That's about as good as it's going to get here. Most of the hustle though happens right next to the excavators. Every time one of those buckets coughs up fresh trash, rag pickers dive into the fresh debris.
Much of this stuff has probably been buried for years, but it is still a lot of opportunity when you get a giant excavator to kind of go through it. These guys get the choice pickings at what is there. All right guys, so this technique is something new to me on any trash mountain I've ever seen. I haven't seen these sort of giant magnets on the end of poles, but it kind of makes sense to me. These guys are out here for the value, and the most valuable stuff is in fact the metals, the aluminium, the steel. And so having just giant magnets on the end of poles, maybe it's better than a hook. Might be a smart move.
Milta hai. They get this from local shops. The governments don't offer this to them.
But it turns out that most of these excavators aren't piling on. They're here to bite chunks off this giant mountain, slowly grinding the heap down, like really, really slowly. And it's probably never going to get done, but at least they're here.
This is the trommel machine used for biomining. They are trying to flatten the landfill. So these bulldozers, they are picking up the waste and they're pushing it inside the machine. So the machine then segregates the waste.
From the soil.
From the soil, yes.
They are chipping away at this thing right now.
By 2026, they're going to get rid of the landfill. That's what the government claims.
What do you think? You think they're going to hit the deadline?
I just feel that these are just promises, because this has been happening. Like every other government just comes here and promises that next year the landfill will be gone. But you can still see the scale of the landfill. So let's see.
All right guys, morning's work. We're gonna weigh up, see what we've got. So a pretty simple setup right here. It's kind of like a pangapul, to use an Indonesian term. And we have a simple scale. Didn't look like it was plugged in, but it is. And we've got to sort this stuff, sell it up, and get out of here. Bottles over the far side, other kinds of plastics, steels, metals, aluminiums. This is yet to be sorted. So we generally are sorting things into 3 piles. All right guys, so 1 kilo of metals, 2.3 kilos of plastics, and now bottles, we have 1.9 kilos of bottles in about 2 hours. What is this scarring from?
So there's this Muslim festival called Muharram where you whip yourself. So that's what this is about.
Bro, this guy's shredded. I think it's a good look as well. Can I see? Oh, that's fucking lit.
You see, Ghazipur's landfill has been this kind of powder keg since way back in 2002, when it first blew past its safe height limit. And every promise to shut it down has just flopped hard. It's just one screw up after another. And a catastrophic slope collapse in 2017 that killed 2 and pushed a bunch of cars into the river. That's the first thing that actually got people to take it a little bit seriously. In 2019, officials swore they'd start biomining and clear this thing by mid-2020. But obviously, that didn't happen.
489 crore rupees, 2 years, and a promise to erase a decades-old mountain of waste. But Ghazipur has seen many such promises before, each buried under new layers of garbage and delay.
Benchmarks for 2024 and 2026 have evaporated just as fast. And now the new hope is that in December 2028, they'll actually have this thing under control and biomined it down. Yet, Ghazipur still gulps down over
2,000 tons of fresh waste daily, a mountain that keeps growing as policy after policy crumbles under its weight.
4 different government departments keep issuing these overlapping orders, so no one on the ground has any idea of what's actually going to get implemented and what's just kind of for show.
How long has she lived here?
आप यहाँ पे कितने सालों से रह रही हो? It's been 10 years.
10 years. And she survives from doing the rag picking as well?
तो आप भी खत्ते पे आती हो ना? Yes.
They're trying to get rid of the landfill now. Is she like sad or happy about that?
लेकिन दुख का बात है कि हम लोगों को कमाई चला जाएगा.
They definitely, it's their livelihood. So she is sad about it, because if it goes, then their livelihood goes as well. But she's saying that maybe it's good for the city.
And to this day, only 1.1 4 million tons of trash has ever been removed. That's like 10% of Ghazipur's legacy waste that's been removed by this whole biomining technique. When you look at it from a drone, it's like this tiny chunk that's just chipping away at the side. And call me crazy, but it just does seem a little insane to be building a mountain on one side while you're removing it on the other. And you could think, I mean, what's the big deal? India's a pretty big country. They make a lot of trash. It's got to go somewhere. It's a landfill. Why don't they just leave it here? Why don't they make it bigger? Well, Ghazipur is important because it's a natural food supply hub. We'll get to it. But let's start with the dairy farm. Welcome to the Ghazipur dairy colony. Just 80 hectares of tin shed and asbestos roofs and dung slick lanes and thousands upon thousands of buffalo pumping out tens of thousands of litres every dawn.
Freshest milk in Delhi, straight up.
Around 900 families live here, elbow to elbow with their herds. Mostly these chunky black buffalo and a few cows. Trucks drop off the animals right during or after calving when the milk is flowing and kind of maxing out.
All right, guys, that is some big girls. One pregnant, one with the calf right there, straight back from the farms. This is kind of how that rotation seems to work. And man, I know that unload went to plan. That was a bit, some big animals moving around.
Handlers crash on cots right next to the animals, and they milk at dawn and dusk.
Yet another room here just filled with dairy cows and buffalo. Maybe a few more cows here, but yeah, it is just house after house loaded with dairy.
They're mixing feed, they're hosing stalls, they're looking after the newborn calves that are just everywhere on the concrete floors.
Achha. So this is how they are fed. This is how the cows. Okay, so every cow gets a fan under them. So he's saying that buffalo milk is quite heavy and it is more healthy. So that is why people prefer in India, especially people prefer having buffalo milk. Whereas cow, it is majorly used like in making medicinal products. Cow milk is majorly used in that.
Got it. It's kind of a weird sight, guys, sort of as you just walk down the alleyways, just seeing like hundreds of cows just lining the area. There are also cows just like hanging out in the park and stuff, but apparently they're not really part of this community. They're saying that in these communities, actually it's like 90%, 90+% is buffalo, these kind of dairy buffaloes. And if you ask me, they kind of look a little bit like cows. They're very, very different from the sort of buffalo I'm used to seeing in Southeast Asia. So yeah, maybe they are a very specialized kind of like milk breed. They look very cow-like to me. This is
barley. Yeah. Yeah. Even humans can eat this. That's what they're saying.
Can you eat this?
Yeah.
I can try it?
You can. Abhi kha sakte hain. You taste it. Yeah, you can.
All right, let's try it, guys. A little bit of barley. It's very like sandy. So they're eating this kind of mix of sort of some cotton seed, like a byproduct of the cotton industry, as well as barley. It looks kind of like weed, right guys? But it's not. It is cotton, I promise. It smells nothing like weed. They've got like a total mix here.
Yeah, exactly.
And once production dips, the buffalo head back out to the countryside, to the fresh pastures, and they ship in new buffalo or cows. The cycle never pauses. Delhi wakes up, they milk, repeat, tens of thousands of litres pouring into the city every single morning.
Why do they bother with cows at all? Like it seems like the majority do buffalo, right? But why have any cows?
Achha, some people also prefer cow milk, so that is why.
So it's
it
like
depends
demand.
on the demand, yeah.
Got it.
This colony, the dairy farm as they call it, but it's more like a kind of urban milk shed, for lack of a better word. They're all independent families.
It's a whole community and also a business.
And a business.
Yes. This place was designated by the government to these people.
Was born way back in the 1970s when Delhi's master plan shuttled urban cattle to these 9 different dairy villages. And they slotted this one onto cheap village plots that only later backed on to this just rising landfill. And because of this, today the place cops just a ton of flack from every angle.
Why is the community here controversial now? Like I understand when I've seen it, it looks pretty clean, pretty safe, but I understand there's a lot of controversy about it.
यहाँ दिक्कत है एनिमल क्रूल्टी की एनजीओ बनी हुई है मेनका गांधी जी की
There are certain NGOs that are against them and they call them illegal dairy farmers. But these guys, he's saying that they have been living here for generations. And they were also like back in 1975, the government gave them this space to live over here. But the NGO says that they are illegal.
And they want them to move or not?
यहाँ 5 विधानसभा हैं, कम से कम 7-8 लाख लोग रह रहे हैं.
They are not illegal, and you are putting the waste where people are living. That shouldn't be allowed. Yes.
So the NGO thinks it's bad because they have the dairy farm so close to the waste disposal plant and the trash. But his argument is that someone else put that trash there. They were here first.
They were here before.
So guys, as you can see, well, I'm not sure you can see, but inside these buildings, they're just loaded with buffaloes, milk buffaloes. And then right there is the giant trash mountain. And that's causing issues.
High court judges have even weighed in, branding the milk as unsafe. They claim that these animals nibble on landfill scraps and that they drink leachate-laced water from the boreholes. NGOs, who operate pretty heavily here and try to protect the rights of cows, especially in India, slam the open drains that sluice dungy water into the Hindon Canal. Vets point to plastic-eating buffaloes in those low, hot sheds. Health officers warn of flies, dogs, kites, and vultures that shuttle pathogens between the dump, the dairy, and the poultry and turn this colony into this kind of zoonotic launch pad.
तो लोग कहते हैं कि भाई हम पशु पे क्रूरता करते हैं, 1.5 लाख का पशु लाके हम क्रूरता करेंगे पशु पे.
People say that we are cruel towards the animal, but look at us, we are investing like 1.5 lakhs rupees. Why would we want to be cruel towards them?
They obviously care about them.
वो वापस गांव लौट जाता है और अगर नहीं भी आता तो सलट चला जाता है.
Tens of thousands of workers and families who are dependent on this profession, and they will all lose their livelihood. So the government should give them answers. What is the government doing for clean air? What is the government doing for the environment? In fact, we are the ones who have milk.
Right.
And yet, I'm oddly pretty sympathetic to these farmers. I never saw any milking buffalo rummaging through the trash, only stray non-dairy cattle. And you see those all over New Delhi.
Do people of New Delhi care or not where their milk comes from?
They don't. Honestly, they don't. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say that this is the highest quality milk shed on earth, obviously. But hell, I'd still way rather be one of these buffaloes in a fan-cooled shed than one of those stray cattle just roaming around the dump or on the streets, just baking away on hot asphalt, scavenging roadside trash.
But yeah, it definitely has a little bit of a smell around here. So do the NGOs have a problem because they think that the milk is contaminated?
तो आदमी सड़क के पीछे पार चला गया है, किलोमीटर ज्यादा पीछे चला गया वो.
He's saying that the landfill is some kilometers away from their place. That you can check our milk whenever we send it for testing. They always pass the test, but the NGOs, they still have a problem.
The community here insists that their animals drink only piped-in water, that they stay only half the year here, and that the rest they're in green pastures.
They have the government water
So they have to
supply.
now pipe in the water.
So आपके pipeline है ना? They have in their homes.
And that they can't really invest and upgrade their flimsy sheds right now because of the chance that the whole thing's going to get bulldozed the next week. They're stuck in this kind of limbo state. They swear that their raw milk beats anything that comes in a sealed carton. And judging by the giant queues of regulars waiting to buy straight from the source, I think the market kind of agrees.
Why is it so popular to come here?
Pure milk. मैं बोल देती हूँ. So she's saying that packet milk, it doesn't stay for that long, and plus it is adulterated. And here they can see that it's pure milk. They see it from their own eyes, so that is why
They believe it.
yeah.
They think the other stuff maybe has chemicals.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. How much is it per litre? How much are they buying it for?
आप लोग कितने में खरीदते हैं ये 85 rupees.
So this is a good deal or a bad deal?
It's a bit expensive.
But so you're paying a premium though
Yeah.
for the fresh milk.
For the fresh milk.
Makes sense? All right guys, who wants a selfie shot? A glass of fresh, roadside, trash side, urban dairy farm milk. Tastes like milk. It is really good. It's kind of like that nice, creamy, sweet balance. Full cream, that is for sure. No chemicals. This is as fresh as you can get it, guys. They were telling me before, you can't even cut this stuff with water or it's going to start to go off. That's just how I mean, non-pasteurized, not anything. And this stuff came out of the cow, I don't know, an hour ago at max. Yeah, they just keep handing me glasses of this milk. I'm gonna be so fat soon. But it's good, not complaining.
This is 1.5 liters.
That's just 1.5 liters?
Yeah.
What about that big one?
जो सबसे बड़ा वाला है उसमें कितना? शायद 5. This is 5 liters.
5 liters. Got it. Oh my God, guys, we are sold out. We're waiting for more milk. We've tapped out the wholesaler. All these ladies are kind of stuck. So now I guess we just wait for someone to milk a cow and bring it down the road.
Hi. Australian people is very good.
Thank you very much. Are you here to pick up milk?
I'm purchasing the milk.
Why do you like the milk here? Buffalo milk. Good?
Good. Original.
Original.
Buffalo.
Not from the shop.
No. Original buffalo milk shop. Milk. This is a dairy plant. All over is a 1-2 kilometers area in only dairy plant.
Good quality.
Good quality.
The best in Delhi?
Delhi is best. Yes.
Delhi is best?
Original buffalo milk.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is my daughter.
Say hello.
Hi.
And it's not just the dairy. In fact, the Ghazipur area is the natural wholesale food hub for all East Delhi's pantry for a pretty critical reason. It sits right on the Delhi-Meerut Expressway. This 14-lane behemoth that can shuttle farm trucks straight from the fertile Ganga-Yamuna plains right to the edge of the city before they even hit a single toll. And because of that, in just one jam-packed kilometre, you'll find Asia's biggest bird market, moving around 200 to 300,000 chickens in a single night. A fish hall with more than 250 stalls selling 150 tons of catch a day, as well as fruit and flower markets. It is a monster food hub right at the bottom of a landfill.
So I don't know if you can see it behind me, guys, but that is the landfill, and that is why this market is like kind of controversial. It's just we're right on the doorsteps of it, and it's definitely a lot smellier than most fish markets, which is saying a lot, obviously.
Roughly 250 wholesalers and 1,500 workers tear through 200 tons of seafood every single day.
This is mainly ocean fish?
They have all kinds like in the market, but in their shop they just have ocean fishes.
Massive blocks of ice get ground into just giant snow cones and then hustled off to whichever stall needs a chill boost. There's head-carrying porters hustling catch everywhere. They're rocking these kind of styrofoam hats or padded blocks so the ice-cold loads don't just nuke their skulls.
I don't really get it. There are some fish that look a little bit worse for wear, I'll say. It's obviously a little bit dirty. I mean, it's Asia or it's India. But again, other than a little bit of funk, I don't think it's that bad. I really don't. It's just a fish market.
And they're hacking fish into fillets and chunks on those floor-mounted botti knives that you'll see all over South Asia. I love those things.
Like, they will take apart a fish in seconds. It's perfectly, I mean, they'll skin the damn thing. And the quality of the meat looks incredibly high to me.
And fish are getting auctioned everywhere, on tiled floors, on cracked concrete, and the melted ice and blood is running straight into all those same open drains.
I've got to admit, guys, usually I feel pretty at home at an Asian fish market. Like, I know at least most of the species, but I have no idea what some of these things are. Like, what is this thing?
The trash mountain just looms in the background above everything.
Guys, I love how you can QR pay now anywhere in Asia. Unfortunately, it's not like international. Like, it's just the domestic banking systems of each country, but these guys just skip credit cards straight up. This feels like coffee.
It's chai.
This is chai?
Yeah.
Scorching hot, side of this fish market, through the fence. I don't know why, it feels like I'm a prisoner. Oh, the first thing that hits you is the heat. But really good, obviously, like always.
But it's nothing really compared to the chicken market just across the road.
Basically, same sort of thing, just this giant wholesale hub that's gonna fuel all of Delhi. A lot of chicken eaten here, despite all the Hindus, despite all the veg. Chicken, fish, going down right here.
From 3 a.m. till dawn, more than 200,000 birds roll in by truck and tricycle. Porters hustle crates through just ankle-deep mud and then stuff butchered birds back into these burlap sacks and hawk them right on the curbside. Staggering sums of money change hands here, 6 to 8 crore every single morning, and that powers 3 to 5,000 workers. Some of the waste does get carried off, but most of it, the blood, the feathers, it spills straight into those same open drains, and it causes thousands of hawks and kites and vultures to circle above, waiting for a scrap. It just really completes that whole post-apocalyptic vibe. The hard truth is that more than half of Delhi's chicken comes from a place that is, by nobody's standards, sanitary. Honestly, despite the conditions, we got to put this food to the taste, and I mean, it was pretty good.
So what do we got? It's like tandoori? I can try a little bit? No, just a small bit, Okay. Thank you, sir. And I'm kind of cheating. These kind gentlemen here have thrown me this piece of tandoori. Indian chicken? Yeah. Tandoori? Tandoori. All right. Let's give it a quick whirl. It's like sweet, like really spicy flavor. They're telling me to dip it in some of this green sauce. Communal dipping plate. It's it's kind of like a little bit overwhelming here, I've got to admit. But honestly, that is juicy. That's really, really solid. They're handing me more of it. That's so much. These guys are really kind. Oh, a little bit of roti, huh? Okay. Bit of roti. And dip, and in here? Okay. I don't know how this goes down. We're gonna go one more bite. This is really kind of these guys. They're just handing me their breakfast. Honestly, who knows? If you're like comfortable with the sort of communal sharing aspect, the very handsy aspect of Indian street food, that is damn good. I'm not gonna lie. That's super juicy, spicy, flavor overload, still warm. That is really, really good. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, thank you. Is this a common like breakfast, or when would you usually eat this dish?
Usually for dinner.
So
yeah, they also use it for starters, like the pre-dinner.
But because it's like a chicken market, here it becomes breakfast.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, I don't know. It seemed like a great breakfast to me.
But the good taste ain't gonna save this place. The open air slaughter, those sludge slick lanes, and the just giant dump next door keep regulators constantly breathing down the necks of these sellers. The market gets shut down whenever bad press hits, and the second I pull out my camera, I'm getting bounced. I can't even get into the main complex. The guards hate me, the vendors hate me. And look, I get it. They think I'm just another gotcha tuber trying to dump all over the working conditions and kind of condemn them. The truth is though, is that these guys, they're not the villains at all. The city parked its biggest landfill right next to its most logical food hub. And the continued failure to get rid of it is just pure insanity.
In November of 2022, the then Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia had said that garbage mountains would disappear in 5 years if his Aam Aadmi Party came to power in Delhi's municipal body, the MCD.
And it gets worse. The waste to energy plant.
What problems does it cause?
क्या problems होती हैं उससे?
उसकी air pollution. अभी आप कल आप उसके बाद में इतना धुआं था, इसका धुआं निकलता है, बहुत खतरनाक.
There's a lot of smoke that comes out of it, which is very dangerous.
The cherry on top of this whole contamination sundae is the waste to energy plant that's just pouring jet fuel on this complete dumpster fire of a situation. This thing ain't some shiny green friendly power plant that you might find in Singapore or Norway that somehow takes in trash and churns out roads and bricks and somehow everyone gets electricity at the same time. No, it's this old, dilapidated 2011 issue incinerator that can only burn half the promised garbage and delivers just a fraction of the power that was promised at an astronomical price.
बिल्कुल हर चीज़ को आदमी को कर रहा है, जानवर को कर रहा है, खाने को कर रहा है, पीने को कर रहा है, सब कुछ कर रहा है.
The whole environment is polluted, he's saying, whether it's animals, humans, everyone is affected.
At this point, they need to mix in diesel with the trash just to get the thing going. You couldn't make it up. Every megawatt generated here comes with a mountain of toxic trash that walks just a few meters back and ends up in that same giant landfill that they're supposed to be trying to get rid of. The operating license expired years ago. This thing's not even really legal. The regulators just keep handing out these temporary pauses while they hold on and hope that somehow it passes a test or a benchmark, which it doesn't. It continually fails all its legal tests, like the dioxin tests, that lethal compound that gave Agent Orange its infamy, one of the worst things you can ever let into your food supply. They're drifting out the stack at roughly 170% over India's own legal limit. That same test caught acid gases and soot spikes and all kinds of stuff that the plant didn't even know existed. And it's all just raining down right over the chickens, the fish, the fruit, the dairy that fuels half of this megacity.
वो हरियाणा राजस्थान से पॉइजनिंग वाला प्लास्टिक आएगा, उसको जलाते हैं.
It should be shut down right away because the poisonous plastic and waste that comes from these other states, they are burning it over there.
The craziest part to me is that because Delhi's utilities are legally bound to buy every kilowatt that this plant produces at a fixed inflated rate that is twice the going rate of just about anything in India. Coal, solar, you name it. This stuff's astronomically priced. That extra cost gets baked into everybody's utility bills. So in the end, the public ends up bankrolling the poisoning of their own food supply. Ghazipur runs on anxiety. Everyone I meet there is afraid. They're afraid that just one court order and the livelihood of everybody involved in the milk, the chicken, the fish, the veggies, that their lifeline could just be yanked from under them. And I know that I'm just some YouTuber, who cares what I think, but it just doesn't seem like rocket science to me. Remove that whole bureaucratic mess, that web of overlapping agencies that has stopped this place from actually making progress towards the semi-logical plan that's there. Finally, carve down this damn mountain, or just cap the thing. Finish the new enclosed market that's been stalled for years upon years, and obviously shut down the giant poison machine that you put in the heart of all this mess.